I met His Excellency the President in London.
Right.
So when I met him, I shook his hand and I wouldn't let go of his hand. And then I started talking to him about solar.
Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where we're all about value-adding content for you to live your most authentic and fulfilled life. Today, we're giving you an informative video all about solar energy. I'm super excited because I'm all about not only living smarter and like being just a better human being all around, but also saving some money in the long run. Today we're here at Nexus Green, which is a company all about solar energy and sustainable energy, and we're going to explore and talk with the founder, Rikki Verma, all the way from the UK, who now lives here and is situated and very passionate about his business. So what I do know is that within Africa, we have 60% of the world's solar power potential, yet I think we're only we're consuming only 1% of the industry, which means there's so much room for investments, there's so much room for businesses and growth and people getting on the solar power panel grid as opposed to just the general way we do electricity. Like I said, there's very little that I know, but you know who's an expert? Rikki. Let's go inside, explore, and talk with him a little bit more. Let's go, guys. So before we talk to Rikki, I'm here looking at this little model of what looks like the future of a giant factory for Nexus Green. I love people who have big visions and want to do great things, especially in Uganda, and to pick their brains on what makes them so passionate about what they do, and basically the background story of all of this. All right, so we're here with Rikki Verma, the owner,
Hi.
the founder of Nexus Green. I love this. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, welcome, welcome. So happy you're here.
Yes.
Big fan.
Thank you. I know. He keeps telling me this.
Well, 3 years ago, I saw you on YouTube, and now you're here interviewing me. This is.
I know.
I've
Full
made
circle.
it. I've made it.
Yeah,
I've
I just
made
love when people want to do dope things in Uganda. I'm like, I need to be there. I need to document it. But if you could talk to us a little bit of why Uganda, what made you start Nexus Green? Yeah, why solar energy? Were you in this before, the UK?
No,
Okay.
completely different. So obviously Uganda being on the equator, you have the best sun. So there's no shadowing. And there's such a bad issues with connectivity here in Uganda. And you know, people,
load shedding, I don't know if that's the term.
Yeah, more like, well, load shedding happens in South Africa. Here, we don't have consistent energy.
Oh, energy to be low.
So that's the biggest issue. You know, people want consistency, especially in the big C&I business. The commercial industries who are doing manufacturing. That little blip of not having electricity can disrupt the whole production line.
It can, and me as just a singular individual who uses the internet on a regular basis, I can only imagine being a corporation with like hundreds of employees and trying to actually produce good stuff for people. Like how?
Well, it's like you losing internet for 5 minutes. It's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
Well, for production manufacturers, losing energy is like the end of the world because seriously, the cost is immense, and the bills here are going up every year, whereas solar's really consistent. So
Okay. So now we know why Uganda, but why solar specifically? Because what were you doing in the UK before?
Okay, so good question. So I was in the US.
Okay.
And I was in the rice business.
That is hilarious. From rice to solar.
Right, yeah. So, I did a good stint there.
Okay.
And then I was reading about solar for quite a few years. And seeing how amazing solar is and how much it can impact on people's lives.
Right.
And then suddenly I got this opportunity.
Okay.
And here I am in Uganda.
I love that. So from rice to solar, from the rice to the sun.
There you go, rice to sun.
Rice to sun.
There's some sort of connectivity there.
Somewhere in there, it makes sense. So now, did you completely cut ties with the rice industry?
Yeah. So that business is done.
Okay.
And this is my baby. I've been doing it for the last 7 years.
Yeah, okay.
We started in a tiny little shed, which I'm taking you to today, Kololo Ceremonial Ground. Unfortunately, the shed's not there anymore.
Okay.
But you'll see our first ever project.
Okay.
And we scaled from our first project being $1.6 million, and now we're doing $120 million project now.
Wow.
So in a very short period of time.
Because that's what I was going to ask. What's the biggest project you've ever done and the smallest one?
The one we're doing today,
yeah.
I think is in history one of the hardest, most complex projects in the history of Uganda. We're doing 687 sites.
What? Okay.
Across the whole country. Yeah.
So now I have to ask, given now I didn't know this before, so now I'm just popping up with questions. From rice to the sun, did you go to school for engineering? Like, was this your background?
Yeah.
Like, was this your,
Yeah. Touchy subject with my parents.
Okay.
They spent a lot of money on my education. However, I quit at 17.
Okay.
And that was it. And, you know, so I don't know, look, for me and certain people, education, for like, if you're being a doctor or something, obviously you need education. But for me, it was all about independence and having freedom.
Yeah.
And I blame my father for this because he showed me a stack of money and he said, Rikki, that's freedom. No one can tell you what to do.
Right.
As long as you make this, do what you want.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
So why?
So
yeah,
that's
I get it. So you're
so
like, let me chase the money.
Get it.
Yeah. I say the same to mine too. I was like, I gave you the degree, you have it, you can even hang it up, I'm done.
Yeah,
like, I'll do what I want to do now. So I understand. So now, just last question before we head off to the Nissan site, which I'm excited about. What are some of the challenges your clients have, and then what are some of the benefits in terms of like going from traditional energy to now solar energy?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, essentially, solar still is relatively new.
Yeah.
And, you know, changing the mindset of someone from going from, you know, your conventional, you know, connect to the grid to solar. Is the transition is the educational piece that we do at Nexus Green.
Okay.
But, you know, what we see is people look at the capex, you know, the cost, and they're like, oh, that's very expensive. But you can, once you're in the mix of using solar, the payback period is really small.
Yeah.
And then that's it, it's free.
I did the mini research as an individual, and I was like, this makes so much more sense in the long run, because the assumption is your panels last, I think it's 25 to 30 years,
that's
or something like that.
Yeah.
So like, given that and what you pay on a monthly basis, especially if you're now a family or like on a bigger scale, and then now imagine a business, people who are trying to do production on a regular basis.
100%.
Like, it's just cost effective.
It's massive savings. So your research is correct.
See my little research.
Yeah. So essentially, you get a solar system. Within 5 to 7 years, you would have paid the system back.
Yeah.
After that,
5 to 7.
That's it. And you know that they last for 25 years. Yeah. So that's it. You got free energy.
I know.
No more bills.
We had a neighbor, and she tried to get my mom into getting it, and literally chilling, coasting, and my mom was just there going through bills all the time. I'm like, or a better solution. Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk more about all of this at Nissan.
Yeah.
So if you could kindly take us there.
Let's do this.
All right.
But this is a full site that does a lot of maintenance. Yeah.
Okay.
So you see all these lights are all charged
all
now
of
using
these
solar
are
panels.
Solar panels.
Everything that has electricity is using our Nexus Green solution.
Okay.
And so, you know, here is really interesting. They do everything here. So when you buy a Nissan, you get all the maintenance done here.
Okay.
So, you know, they have a one-stop shop. So it's really,
nice.
really
and
good.
All on solar.
All
on solar energy.
Everything you see is on solar. Again, as Nexus Green, we do the full turnkey. So in-house, we have a structural engineer, construction, and, you know, electrical. So with this roof, it needed a little bit of reinforcement, which we did. And then that's it. We install it and jobs are good.
All right, so we have the pleasure of having the MD of Nissan here, Florence. Thank you for talking to us briefly.
Thank you for coming over.
I'm excited to get the customer perspective of having solar versus traditional energy. Okay. How has it been? Like from when you had traditional regular energy versus now with solar?
We are a subsidiary of a Danish group called Care Group, based in Denmark. Yeah.
Okay.
And for many years, we have been agents of not polluting the environment.
Okay.
We've been members of the UN Global Compact since 2003.
Oh, wow.
And that means in all the transactions we carry out as we do our business, we try to minimize impact on the environment.
Okay.
We are, for example, HSEQ certified, and all this is because we want to make sure we do as much as possible to neutralize the carbon footprint, our own carbon footprint. So we have done many activities, partnered with government, planted trees, all that in a bid to try and show our cause for protecting the environment. In 2019, we started the journey to bring electric vehicles. We've delivered some.
Wow.
Yes.
Do we have them here in Uganda already?
Oh, yes. There's one in the showroom.
There's charging ports for electric.
Yes.
That's the road I want.
And we have delivered like 4 or 5. We are still delivering. We've received our new one, station wagons, the areas. So we are going to deliver one to Total E&P and GIZ. So in all this, we know we deal in vehicles. We sell vehicles. We want to make sure we do something to neutralize our carbon footprint. So we also said, then what do we do in our offices? We said, okay, we have been using umeme for all the years.
Right.
Even if our power is hydro, in a way that it's not, it's not an activity that is impacting the environment in a bad way, we still said we need to save. So our first project was in Hoima. We have a branch in Hoima, as big as this one.
Right.
So we Nexus Green installed, their first project was Hoima.
Okay.
And they handed it over beginning of February.
Okay.
Okay. So after Hoima, then they came to Kampala. Now in Hoima, right now we are saving approximately 40–50%.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting. I knew it was a cost savings, but I wasn't expecting it to be so slashing it in half.
Exactly. The system we've installed is enough to even run the hoists.
Oh wow.
Which are great. They consume a lot of umeme. So during the day and lucky enough in Uganda it's shining. Even if it rains, it shines. So you are able to generate that power and it is then used.
Right.
So we are waiting for this one. It's 43 megawatts per hour.
Okay.
The one installed in Kampala.
Okay.
And we waiting. It was handed over yesterday.
Oh,
we are going to start using it, and then we shall be able to measure how much we have saved in a month. And we expect the same savings as in Hoima.
Right.
Only that here it will be a bigger amount in absolute value because we do more work than Hoima.
Okay, right, because you're servicing now
here we are more busy. Yeah, we do a minimum of 27 job cars, vehicles every day.
Right.
And Hoima does like 4 or 5. Okay. So I'm sure we'll be saving much more.
Way more, yes.
Yeah, in Kampala here.
That's amazing.
So that's how our journey in going green.
Going green, okay.
Yeah. So we got our partners, Nexus Green, and they've done a wonderful job.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
So when it comes to pricing, is it per panel, per...
Yeah, so what we do is, it builds a quantity, you basically break up everything.
Yes.
So you have a panel, the wiring, the inverter. If there's a battery opportunity, so where we're taking you next to Kololo,
right.
you're going to see batteries.
Oh, okay.
So that is completely off-grid.
Okay,
That's a game changer in the country, actually.
Okay.
Because we're not dealing with middlemen or importers,
yes.
We buy directly from the manufacturer.
Right.
So for us, we give you the best pricing.
Right.
So it's not profit on profit on profit.
Right.
We're dealing directly with the manufacturer, tier 1 product. You can't go wrong. Our customer service is amazing.
So when it comes to maintenance and repair, so someone comes, you have installed, first you've come and inspected, I'm sure, then install and the whole process. Now they're happy, they're satisfied. What's the maintenance process and the repair over the 25, 30 years?
So any site we do, we offer a maintenance and service.
Okay.
So for this site, every quarter we'll look at these panels, make sure they're clean.
Yes.
As part of the agreement we have with Nissan. We want them to focus on their core business, selling cars, right? And you've met Florence, the MD.
Yes.
So, she's very focused on selling cars.
Yes.
So we want the customer experience to be like next to none. We want them to focus on theirs. We have remote monitoring systems on all our systems.
Okay.
So the client won't know there's a problem before we know. We will know, and if we can solve it off-site, we will.
Right.
If not, we'll send an engineer here, get it sorted. If there's a problem with the panel, we swap it straight out. We don't waste the customer's time of doing the warranty issue. We handle the warranties for the customer.
Okay.
For the panels, I give a 20-year warranty on my panels.
That's amazing.
So the reason why we've been so successful here in Uganda especially is because our customer care. You know, you have a dedicated person that if there's a problem, you call them. Repairs are done on the spot. You know, within 48 hours, you're good to go. We try and have a 48-hour. If it's a serious problem, you know, we'll try and everything to find a solution on the site. If not, then we take the panels and we'll replace it with a new one.
You guys are very close. They're just there in Ntinda Industrial area. Okay, so now companies such as Nissan or anyone else that has a larger scale company that's interested in acquiring Nexus Green solar panels, what's the preparation they need to do prior to actually purchasing?
We engage with the client. We do like a pre-feasibility study. So we put a machine in that tests the behavior patterns of the energy. How, like, when do they use the energy the most during the day? That way we increase the yields and the capacity of the power to suit their needs. So for example, we did a hotel recently and we said if you change your behavior patterns of doing your like washing the linen
at a different time,
you'll save even more money.
Oh, like those little like graphs that they have in Canada, and I think the UK probably does the same of when you should be doing certain things.
You got it.
And then in terms of deciding on where, like maybe the panels there versus over here, is it just deciding the optimal direction of the sun, where like you have to do all of that science behind it?
Yeah, so our solar engineers come on site. We do a lot of like, you know, desktop stuff, but then it's really being on the ground. So they'll do topography, they'll look at the sunset, sunrise and all that. And then it depends on the energy usage here. This is quite a low energy consumer. So we only use certain amounts of the space for the requirement. And then we'll give them a little bit, you know, extra because, you know, Nissan is expanding their workshop, as you saw. Their workshop. So they're expanding. So they wanted something a bit future-proof. So we do it today rather than think about it tomorrow.
That's smart.
So they've got a brilliant. This solution is perfect for them. Everything that you're seeing on this site is run by Nexus Green's solar solution.
That is amazing, and I love how you said smaller scale. Yet they do cars. It's a lot of electricity and manufacturing, but this is still smaller scale.
Oh, this is a tiny site. This is tiny. Wait till you see Kololo.
And I'm excited. I feel like we need to go out.
Let's do this.
Check it out. All right, let's go check out Kololo. So we're here at the Lugogo project. If you could talk to us a little bit about how the airstrip came to be. I know it's been here for like God knows how many decades, but how you got Nexus Green on board.
Yeah, so interesting story. I met His Excellency the President in London. And it was a case of...
I didn't know this.
Yeah. So I met him and it was a case of, you know, people were like, take a photo, shake his hand, like conveyor belt.
Right.
And I thought, I'm an opportunist. So I thought, let me take full opportunity. I was just at the transition now of what do I do next in my career. You know, you were talking about how to get into solar. So I was reading about it and then having this opportunity of meeting the president of a country that was on our radar because
equator, all of that.
You know, bad energy supply. So when I met him, I shook his hand and I wouldn't let go of his hand. And then I started talking to him about solar.
Oh my God.
And just like what you just did, everyone around me was like, you know, protocol officers going nuts. So I was there for 25 minutes, badgering him about solar and how it could save millions and millions. So, you know, I don't know what happened. 6 months later, I get a phone call from State House saying, His Excellency wants you to come and present solar energy to the cabinet. So you can imagine, it was insane, Rachel. I sat there at State House in front of the whole cabinet on this big table. And he goes, I met this boy about solar and he's going to present. So I started talking about solar. And, you know, I'm obviously I'm a good salesperson. I know a little bit about solar. And so he said, we should do a pilot. And so the pilot is where you're standing now, at Kololo Ceremonial Ground. And he wanted to prove, because he's a big visionary in terms of, you know, renewable energy and all that kind of great stuff. And so, you know, we wanted to prove to the country that you've got the equator, there's no shadowing.
We have all the things.
You know, and there's so many, like, there's not many moving parts to solar. Batteries, inverters, panels.
And you're good to go.
It's good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're in the battery room.
Okay.
So this site is semi-autonomous. So during the day you're using solar.
Right.
And then at night you're using these batteries.
Okay.
So there's enough batteries to last the whole evening.
Okay.
On this site, as you know, they do concerts.
Yeah.
They actually do
Kid
the ID printing here. You know your national ID?
Yes, I
done
did
here.
my national ID here actually.
There
yes.
you go, yeah. So, and they obviously they use big industrial printers here. So
okay.
the whole site that is consuming Nexus Green solar energy. So,
Okay.
so that's it. So yeah, these are, I think this is one of the largest semi-autonomous sites in the country actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
you must be so proud. And this was developed what year did you say?
So this is about, what, 5 years ago?
Oh, wow.
And the beauty is, so a Nexus Green system is, we don't discharge our batteries to the lowest level because it creates longevity. So these batteries will last for 10 years and above. Where conventional batteries in the old days, 3 years.
Very long, yeah.
3 years. So these are good. These are very good, solid, and with new technology, lithium ion, now you can go to 10 years. Without, and you can discharge 100%.
Okay.
So yeah, so.
This is so interesting. I just so funny because we're always here. Even the, what did I last come here for? Harvest Expo.
Okay.
It was huge. There was many people, so all of that was on Nexus Green Energy.
They were using our energy.
That's dope.
Yeah, right?
All right, let's go check out the panels.
Yeah. This is the prime time now for these little babies to absorb the sun.
Yeah.
And then the room you were in,
Yes.
the brain converting it and then putting some in the battery. And then if they're using electricity on the site, they're consuming this energy from these panels.
So now out of curiosity, does the weather in Uganda affect it any differently? Like rainy season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so solar works like, you know, the sun's out, these are working. It gets cloudy, the efficiencies will go down.
Right, okay, okay.
So, but when it rains, funny enough, if the panels become cool, they absorb more.
Oh.
So when it rains, it's good.
And we still have sun when it rains.
Yeah,
it's just rainy. Like that's
so
it.
the cooler the panels, the more they absorb.
Okay.
So, you know, and you got to understand, these were put in 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
They got good another, like, what, more than 10, 15 years, well, 10 years?
Yeah, they're good.
No,
and
more
they
than
look
10.
great.
25-year-old
Yeah,
panels, like,
they look great.
yeah.
Mint condition, they look fantastic.
Yeah.
So that, like you said, on your end, in the computer, as long as everything is good, they're good to go. Like it can like detect anything even before these guys have to now come up and be like, oh, there's a problem.
Exactly. So after this, I'll take you down to what we call the SCADA room.
Right.
And that basically is a system that shows everything in real time of what's going on in each of these panels.
Okay.
So for example, if there's a problem with one panel, we'll know exactly where to pinpoint it.
Okay.
Because these are all done on strings, right? So we'll know exactly which cluster it is.
Okay.
And then we'll solve the problem. And so we have direct access in real time of how the system's running.
Right.
So you can see the efficiencies, where we can improve, we do. Where we like increase the discharge on the batteries, we will.
Okay.
But yeah, no, touch wood, this system's been working really well.
So my last few questions for you, if we could touch base of what we're talking about as we're walking up, was the farmers and how you work with larger scale farmers. So although you don't work with individuals, you'll work with communities.
Yeah, so one of the projects we're doing here in Uganda is providing solar irrigation, complete turnkey, using solar and irrigation for farmers. And so anything like community farming.
Right.
So, you know, anyone who, let's say you have 20 acres, each person has like 1 acre, 2 acres.
Right.
So they share an irrigation scheme from Nexus Green.
Okay.
And then what we do is we give them agronomists to tell them what to grow, the best methods of growing, and then scale it up so it becomes sustainable.
And then they make more for themselves and are more impactful within their communities.
Employ and, you know, and also do value, like, you know, like high value crops.
Yes.
So now you can do long term macadamia, avocado, and start exporting it. I mean, in England, we're on a ration. Apparently, you can only buy 2 cucumbers and 2 tomatoes.
And yet ours are just falling off their trees.
Yeah. So, you know, but it's a beautiful project because you actually can see the massive impact.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Farmer Gladys.
Yes.
She was making $1,500 in revenue a year. With Nexus Green solar irrigation, she's now making over $100,000 in revenue.
Which is wild. I was like, where do I find Gladys? I want to be Gladys.
Yeah, well, she's a baller. She don't even take my calls anymore.
I want to be her. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Sorry, I'm just thinking about farming and adding.
We'll do your farm. Don't worry,
Thank
Rachel.
you.
We'll
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. I was like, okay, can I?
Done.
That's amazing. So now, what does the future look like for Nexus Green? Like, where do you guys see yourself? 5, 10 years?
Yeah. Well, we want to like blanket the C&I business, so all the B2B business. So
right.
if you are you're a business owner, call Nexus Green, and we will definitely give you a full one-stop shop.
Love it.
Save you a load of money on your energy bills. But for Nexus Green, my ultimate goal is what I'm building this year, which is to manufacture actual panels.
Okay.
So we actually manufacture panels here in the heart of East Africa, you know, in Uganda, and so we want to start with about 156,000 panels in production a year, expand, sell it to our neighbour countries here, and just keep expanding. You know, like Lego, we just keep building blocks.
Just keep
building
the blocks.
You know, that's it.
And what a better way to start, or what a better place to start than Uganda? Like I feel like you have the sunshine, you have the like the best place to be able to test all of it out. I feel like,
Uganda is such a great place. I tell people I mentor, you know, it's a great place to learn and also to actually do, because there's huge opportunities here.
Huge opportunities. I keep telling people, everyone asks me what. Well, now I brought you another one, another amazing one. Thank you.
Yeah.
This and another one.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rikki. So if you could just tell the people again where they can find you, your different locations.
Yeah. So, you know, we're based in Ntinda here in Kampala. We have 4 sites across the country, places like Mbarara, Arua, Soroti. Just look us up, nexusgreen.com. And if you have a business and, you know, you're suffering badly from lack of consistency of energy, hit us up. And you want to make your bills cheaper, we're your guys. So Nexus Green.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video all about Nexus Green and all of these amazing panels. Amazing people are doing amazing things in Uganda on a regular basis. It's my job to bring them to you and to show you that the sky is the limit here. Like, why not? Rikki, who came from all the way from the UK, has made a beautiful business in all of about 7 years. Like, that's dope. So personally, I'm just like, why not show you guys more stories? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification button, check out Nexus Green on their website and social media platforms. They're starting a YouTube, so there'll be a lot more informative information that I don't know personally about solar, but they'll definitely let you know. Thank you guys again for watching. Please remember to leave a comment below of what your favorite part is, where you're going to buy your solar, because obviously it's Nexus Green, but what exactly it is that you want to start off with. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll check you in my next video. Bye, guys.